listening to the FTWpodcast.com, where we talk about wrestling in all of its laughable glory. Here's a clip from this week's episode.
We have a question for everybody. You can send us questions through our email, tweet us, or whatever. And you can, don't forget about Facebook, facebook.com/FTW podcast. Scott also asked us, did you do something different with Albert? Did you do something different with Albert, or this is done before it can start? Do you agree? He's talking about Tensai. And RKO Voices on Twitter asked, who would win? Tensai versus Tajiri. I'm going to murder all these names. Tensai versus Tajiri versus Yoshi versus Funaki versus Taka. Boom! Joe.
Oh, wow.
Made it
I think MVP is going to win out of all of them. I could see Tensai versus Funaki versus Taka would be pretty sweet. You know what? Funaki versus Taka, just because they were former tag team partners. I miss Taka and Mikinochu. I really do. I think he's probably my favorite out of the entire group. So I'm going to say he wins.
Okay. Rob.
Tajiri wins. Buzzsaw kicks to the back of the head all night long. Outside of that, with Scott's comment, I don't know. I think the Lord Tensai thing could work, but it's going to be a hard sell. They really have to do something to add depth to the gimmick.
They could, though. I didn't mean to not touch on that, but I think they really could, Rob. I think that this is going to be the first time they really pull off the Japanese character, and they could do it well using a non-Japanese guy. Sorry, Yoshitatsu, but you couldn't get the gimmick done.
Yeah.
Okay. Garvin.
It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks. How are we already complaining that he's not going to go anywhere after 2 weeks? I'm sorry, Scott, but I completely disagree. I think we need to give him a little bit more time. He's not bad in the ring. I mean, he looks pretty decent. It's just you're expecting squash matches, and although he's doing squash matches, they're going a little bit longer. He's ending both the matches that he had in like a technical knockout ref ending type thing, which is new. I mean, we haven't seen that in a while. So I think they're doing good. Tajiri would win.
Thank you,
Garvin, you ignorant slut. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks that he's been in the ring, but we have video package before that, and dude, the crowd is dead. I mean, this is a non-starter. The guy, they went too different, too fast with him. He should have came out, done the Goldberg thing, come out, do his thing, just blast the guy, beat him up in the ring. The matches should be no longer than a minute and a half, get it done and over with. I mean, the thing with Sin Cara kind of set a pretty high bar because they did the light thing. He ran down the ring. They had a treadmill and a trampoline. There was a lot of production value involved. You're not getting that with Tensai. You're getting this weird Japanese music that's kind of like, this isn't very exciting. He comes out to house lights. He walks down to the ring. He beats up the other guy who is, 9 times out of 10, someone that we haven't seen since the last episode of Superstars. And then he hits him with salt. Tajiri would totally win that 4-way.
You're forgetting, though, that the reason they had a trampoline for Sin Cara is because he couldn't hit his stunt of jumping from the floor over the rope by himself.
But he was soaring through the air, Rob. You didn't...
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's take one step back here. Sin Cara, no human being can make that jump.
That's not the
they
point.
should have advertised it as if he could.
The trampoline is fine when they were hiding it. They got a little hornswoggle type guy down there to pull the trampoline back underneath the ring. That's okay.
How would you like that for your job description? I'm the
trampoline puller?
No, I'm the trampoline technician. Trampoline management technician.
Yeah.
So the guy who supervises the guy who pulls the trampoline.
By the way,
it's a union job.
We are talking about wrestling, and wrestling doesn't have to be 100% believable.
Right. I mean, the Lord Tensai thing works, I think, because it's a simple entrance. The one guy coming out, throwing up the salt, and that's it.
But there's nothing exciting about it. It's if you are a complete Whatever
go
word,
over to Japan and
what's
look at
word-
out of the
Yeah.
wrestling.
It works great in Japan. You know what's cool about Japan? They go there, they sit quietly, and they enjoy the show. That's why WWE doesn't tour there, because it doesn't look good on camera. You don't have the rowdy crowds waving the signs, waving shit, and going, "Oh my God, this is so awesome! I had so much Bud Light before I got here."
I like it. I like
yeah,
it.
he looks fantastic. The gimmick's great. It's dead. It's just nothing's happening. Pyro, give him Kane's entrance. Do something with it where you make it. This is Tensai. Fuck yeah, Tensai is here.
Add it. No. You let him reprove himself to the crowd. Then you start adding that shit.
Yeah. So you need a magnificent entrance to be a quality wrestler.
No, you need a magnificent entrance if you're not going to actually wrestle.
By the way, Diva Jill in the chat, she says, so Harrison wants them to do with Tensai what he complains about them doing with Brodus Clay.
What do you think about Brodus Clay's entrance?
The whole thing where he just does squash matches. That's what you want to see is Tensai doing squash matches. We saw that with Brodus Clay and everyone complained about it.
The reason that Brodus Clay works is because they're doing the squash matches, but it's the ring entrance that you're tuning into. They got to get the crowd excited for Tensai. You got to think this is a big freaking deal. Right now, it isn't.
They're going to. I'm sorry, but he's like he's just a train on the tracks, just barreling down the road.
Personally,
sure, and the crowd is totally into it. I've heard more cheers for a Divas match.
I don't care about
mid-card Divas match.
I kind of like Tensei's gimmick so far, and I think as long as you're going to have him doing the samurai gimmick, you have to be really careful with what you do because
Rob, no, cultural sensitivity is out the window when the guy is not Japanese.
Hey Harrison, mid-card Divas match is very redundant.
Okay, well,
yeah, pretty much.
That's the point. That's how dead the crowd is.
Well, you've heard our thoughts, but now we want to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and even join us live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. at theftwpodcast.com.